going on, everybody out there? This is Popular Stranger, and we are back at you again today with another Madden 24 Ultimate Team video. In today's video, we're going to be going over the best abilities to be using right now on offense. This is your update for Season 6, and tomorrow we'll be covering the best abilities over on defense. We got a lot to go over, so let's jump right on into it. We're going to be using MUT.gg/abilities to go through the best abilities in the game right now on offense, and we're going to start at the quarterback position. Now, number one, with your quarterback, it's always important to know what type of release they have, because if they have a traditional 4 release, that means they don't need Gunslinger. Everybody else is probably going to need that ability, and that's going to be very important of getting the football out on time, avoiding pressure, avoiding sacks. And if you guys don't know how to look up what type of release your quarterback has, you're going to want to go over to MUT.gg, and once you pull up any player in the game, if it's a quarterback, obviously, you scroll down under the player trait section, and you can see that very first listing says QB release is traditional 4 for Lamar Jackson here. And again, that is the best release in the game right now. That, and I would say Slinger 1 is not too far behind it. After that, it's kind of up to preference. Slinger 3, Slinger 5, Traditional 2, Traditional 3, or some of the other better ones there. But Traditional 4 is the only one I recommend playing without the Gunslinger ability. So when we talk about the best abilities that you can be putting on your quarterbacks, Gunslinger is going to be up there. Now, the other combination, or decision I should say, that you're going to have to make is between Pass Lead Elite and Set Feet Lead. If you're trying to give yourself an advantage and win more games, you shouldn't be playing without one of those two abilities on your quarterback as well. So what's the difference? Set Feet Lead is going to give you more velocity on your throws, specifically bullet passes, but your feet are going to have to be set when you make those throws, versus Pass Lead Elite is basically the same exact thing, but it's going to allow you to be scrambling on the run, etc. So Pass Lead Elite's going to be better than Set Feet Lead, but at this point in the year, there's a lot more quarterbacks in the game who get a Set Feet Lead discount versus Pass Lead Elite. But this is something that we're starting to see popular. If I had to rank the top 3 quarterbacks in the game right now, it's going to be AKA Lamar Jackson, Ring of Honor Michael Vick, and then we go all the way back to Combine quarterback Bo Jackson. With Lamar and Vick, you can see they are 2 of a couple that get that Pass Lead Elite for 2 AP, and the ability stack for them just works very well to get those 2 abilities, or I should say get that ability for 2 AP, versus the Combine quarterback Bo Jackson. He can't get that at any good discount, but he does get Set Feet Lead for 1 AP, so that's really want to look for. If you can get Set Feet Lead for 1 or Pass Lead Elite for 2 on your quarterback, that's what I would recommend. Now, the third option is up to you, and if your offense kind of runs through it, if you're going to be more successful with Hot Route Master or additional hot routes, and the upgraded version of Hot Route Master is going to be Master Tactician, which is a new ability this year. And some of the abilities I'm going to be naming in this video, unfortunately, if you're watching on old gen, you're just not going to get access to these. And I think Master Tactician is one of them. If not, you're going to have to settle for Hot Route Master. So if you don't know what Hot Route Master does, it gives you 4 additional hot routes on any pass receiver on your team, tight end, wide receivers, and running backs. And for the most part, the best quarterbacks in the game right now, you're seeing them get that at a discount for 1 AP. Now, what we've seen most recently is Master Tactician, and you're starting to see that for 0 and 1 AP on a lot of the top end quarterbacks in the game. Again, we mentioned Ring of Honor Michael Vick and Lamar Jackson. They both get it for 1 AP. The Joe Burrow from the Weekly Wildcard program gets it. A handful of those NFL draft rookies get it for 0 AP. So basically, if you read the description, Master Tactician is a combination of Hot Route Master, which gives you the 4 different hot routes on any pass receiver. You get Conductor, which allows you to get your hot routes put in a lot quicker before you snap the ball. And also you get somewhat of a QB Playmaker, which allows you with your right analog stick to, if you got a receiver running a drag, you can move them upfield or move a player to the left or the right in the middle of the route. And with QB Playmaker, it reacts a lot quicker than if you didn't have it. Well, Master Tactician has a form of that built in. So Master Tactician for 0, 1, or even 2 AP, the fact that you basically get 3 abilities in one is huge. If you don't need Hot Route Master or those additional hot routes, you're probably going to stay away from that ability. But those, I think, are the top 3 abilities that you can or should be using on your quarterback. Now, there's things like Roaming Deadeye and Gift Wrap and Fearless. I think those are abilities that if you feel like your offense flourishes with them, continue to use them. Or if you want to try them out, go for it. I just don't feel like they're 100% necessary, especially Gift Wrap. If you got the 1 AP free, go for it, go use it. I would agree exactly with what they say over here on MUT.gg on your right. right with gift wrap. Super important early in the year because a lot of the receivers we were using and running backs had very low catch ratings. They now all have catch ratings 95 plus. So you're not seeing as many drop passes. If your offense is based on a lot of high point throws, you're probably going to want to use it. But me personally, I don't throw high point passes very often. And when I do, they tend to be catches. Yes, I have a drop here and there, but I can justify using that 1 AP on a different ability, even on a different position over gift wrap because I just don't feel like I'm going to need it 100% of the time. Let's move over to the running back positional group. It's all about angry runs. So this is going to be an X factor, but we have a few players who get it as an ability. Combine running back Bo Jackson, Eric Dickerson from the Ring of Honor program, aka Emmitt Smith. So what you're seeing on your screen now is more so the reading of what it is when it's an X factor, but when it's treated as an ability, in most cases it's going to turn on for either 6 plays and then go off for a little while and come back. That's the AKA form of it, or the combine form of it is 9 plays into the game. It turns on and stays on for the remainder of the game. And, you know, if you're not running a running back with this right now, and I know there's not a ton of them that get it, but there's a lot of them that are fairly cheap, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. I'm just trying to give you guys the best abilities in the game to help you win more games. I know a lot of you have like weird morals and principles on what abilities and players you're going to use in the game, and if you do, that's fine. Continue to do you. I'm just trying to help the people in this video that want to win more games and use the best abilities in the game. That's the purpose of this video. So Angry Runs is pretty much, to me, a must-have on your running back, and we will be getting golden tickets, part 1 of golden tickets later today, to running backs in that first drop. I'm curious to see if they get Angry Runs or any other type of X factors that you can throw on your running back. Other abilities that you can use, again, really up to you. We have a ton of 0 AP jukebox and evasive running backs out there, and if you can get one or the other, I would definitely recommend trying to get that. The juke move and the spin move are already overpowered enough without it, but having jukebox on there or evasive, which helps with spins and jukes, is going to make them just so much better. And when we get to wide receivers, I guess I can talk about it now. For wide receivers, this to me is almost a must right now as well. If you can get 3 wide receivers with 0 AP jukebox out there, and there's a ton of them. You got Jerry Rice's Ultimate Legend card, Megatron, Randy Moss, Scary Terry McLaurin. There's a free 97 overall George Pickens from the Infinite Flux promo that gets it for 0 AP. There's a lot of them out there. That's what I would really prioritize. Amon-Ra St. Brown's AKA card to get that ability on 3 receivers. You're just able to get so many more yards after the catch. You don't have to rely on throwing the ball deep all the time when it's a 3rd and long situation. You can trust a quick short throw that's open, and that juke move 1 or 2 times with that animation plus the ability lighting up, it can get you a lot of extra yards. So that's going to be good on both running backs and wide receivers. Another one that's good on running backs, but only if it's 0 AP, is going to be Energizer, and you see that, for example, on the Eric Dickerson card from the Ring of Honor promo. Ball carriers with this ability will replenish a portion of their stamina upon successfully performing any skill move. So basically, if you got a 0 AP evasive and a 0 AP Energizer, every time you use that evasive juke move or the jukebox juke move, you're not going to drop all of your stamina and get caught a lot quicker. It allows you to make several juke moves together with a spin move chained in maybe, and keep your stamina to break away for a bigger run. So only if it's 0 AP, but this is another ability that I really like on running backs right now. Human joystick isn't 100% necessary, but there's a lot of receivers that are starting to get it for 0 AP. The AKA Tyreek Hill, who also gets 0 AP jukebox, is a good example. Ring of Honor Eric Dickerson gets it at the running back position. To me, it does make running after the catch or running the ball a lot more fluid on offense. Again, I want to stress it's not a 100% need, but I know a lot of times with Eric Dickerson, if I'm running an inside zone out of shotgun and my opponent's shooting the gap and I can tell that they're probably going to shut down the running lane that I want to go to, human joystick to me feels like it allows me to cut back the opposite way a lot quicker without having to use a juke move or a spin move, just strictly the left analog stick. And you can turn a lot of, you know, either loss for yardage or 0 yardage runs into 1, 2, or even more if you can get past that first line of defense. Human joystick just allows you to maneuver a lot quicker. I just want to bring up goal line back because it's a very specific ability that only gives you better blocking within 5 yards of the red zone, or the end zone, I should say. And there's barely any players that get it at a discount, but one of them that does get it for 0 AP is going to be the AANHPI Josh Jacobs. You can upgrade that card to a 99 overall on May 22nd, but you don't have to get that 0 AP ability. So he's just one player right now that everybody can earn for free and get that ability for 0 AP. It's great to sub him in inside the 5 because you're going to get better blocking and probably score more often than not. And being that he's free and gets all 32 NFL team chems, I think it's a card that everybody should have in your lineup, even if you stash him back at halfback number 3. And if we start to see more running backs in the game come out with that in a bucket for 0 AP that doesn't take away from some of the other better abilities, I would look to equip this one as well. 2 other abilities on offense that I would recommend, mostly that are going to help you in the running game, and I would only use these if you can get them for 0 AP. Number 1 is going to be honorary linemen. Basically, impact blocks are going to win versus defensive backs, but you see this on tight ends and fullbacks. I think Alec Ingold is a really good option because he gets goal line back and honorary lineman together for 0 AP. If you need a fullback on your team, 219K. Not a terrible price. Gronk and George Kittle get honorary linemen as tight ends, and they both have really high run blocking attributes. And then runoff elite is more so often going to be on wide receivers. This one is going to, when your receiver is running routes, generally the defensive back is going to follow them. Well, on running plays, runoff elite is going to make them run just down the field, and the defensive back is going to run along with them, which means it's going to take one less tackler out of the play, off of the screen when you're trying to run the ball. Again, only if you can get it for 0 AP. You can see Scary Terry gets it. Chris Collinsworth, I think his Ultimate Legend was like the first card to get it for 0 AP. So if you start to see this ability come out more often and you're a big time runner, you should look to use this one. Getting back to wide receivers, we talked about how important Jukebox or Evasive is on the wide receiver position. One of the other kind of groups of abilities that you can look at, but it's really up to you, is going to be Slot Apprentice or Wide Receiver Apprentice. Now, if you're already using a Hot Route Master quarterback or a Master Tactician quarterback, those abilities are going to be useless, but Slot Apprentice, Wide Receiver Apprentice, and Running Back Apprentice as well. We didn't talk about that with the group of running backs. Very good ability. It basically gives you the 4 additional hot routes. If you have maybe one setup on one player formation where your slot receiver could use those extra hot routes, you might want to target a guy who gets Slot Apprentice or 0 AP, and therefore you don't have to use Hot Route Master or Master Tactician. For me, I like to have it available on any route at any time because I can make different plays based off of what I know my opponent's running. But, you know, the Apprentice abilities are still very, very good. It's just all dependent on if you're already using Hot Route Master or Master Tactician. That's also going to be true for Tight End Apprentice on tight ends as well. And just pass catchers in general, to me personally, I don't feel like they really need abilities this year. That's why I'm so high on Jukebox, because it's just so much better after the catch. There's not too much route running wise this year that's dominant, like short in elite and short out elite, very good abilities last year. They just don't do too much this year. Same with Route Technician. You don't see it light up often. Description says receivers with this ability have a high success rate when creating separation on the last cut of any route. I mean, it's just not necessary. So everything that I'm talking about wide receiver wise, if you can get it for 0 AP and it doesn't take away from either a Slot Apprentice or Wide Receiver Apprentice or a Jukebox or Evasive, go ahead and throw it on there. I mean, Third Down Threat's a great example. It's a terrible ability that pretty much does nothing, but so many receivers in the game get it for 0 AP. If you got a bucket and you're not using any of the other 1 AP abilities, go ahead and throw it on. But overall and generally speaking, I don't find myself needing any type of wide receiver abilities, and unfortunately there's none that counter any type of knockouts either. Like Deep Elite is a brand new one that came out this year. That was supposed to be Deep in Elite plus Deep out Elite together, and I thought maybe that one would be a great opportunity to counter knockouts, but unfortunately it does not. Deep out Elite last year was really good on taller receivers with streaks down the field. I just don't see it doing too much this year. I don't see my opponents running it a lot. So again, just to wrap it up with wide receivers, the only ability I'm really recommending is going to be Jukebox or Evasive. Also, if you can get things like Matchup Nightmare or Red Zone Threat, and then the third one I would throw in this group is Slot-O-Matic. If you can get those for 0 AP, and you can see Slot-O-Matic right now doesn't have any players or cards that can get it for 0 AP, But if you can get any of those for 0 AP, again, throw them on there. Pretty much that goes for any 0 AP ability that's not being used in a bucket where you don't need other abilities to use as well. Let's finish out with offensive linemen. So to me, Secure Protector is a 100% must on your left and right tackle, but at this point in the year, there's so many cards that can get it across the entire offensive line for at least 1 AP. I would try to get a build an offensive line with 5 Secure Protectors. Center, left guard, right tackle, left tackle. Tackles are most important. Center is really important because of inside stuff, and the guards as well, and all of them work hand in hand with slowing down those Unstoppable Force and Colossus X Factor pass rushers. So scroll through this list and take a look at the guys that can get it for 0 AP. There's some really good options out there. Robert Hunt at right guard is a free card you can get from the weekly wildcard solos. Andrew Thomas gets Linchpin plus Secure Protector together for 0 AP. 300k isn't bad at left tackle. Jordan Morgan and Tyler Guyton are cards that are both right around, well, Morgan's up in price now, but he was about 200k over the weekend. These are two left and a right tackle that both get it for 0 AP. There's some options out there. Some cards you are going to have to pay the 1 AP for, and that's certainly fine. But if you can make it work with your core abilities on your skill position players and still get 5 Secure Protectors out there on the field, a very good option to set up. Threat Detector for me is a must-have. Now, I currently have it on the Quentin Nelson card from the Infinite Flux promo, and he gets it for 2 AP, that plus the 0 AP Secure Protector. So I'm okay spending the 2 AP on that ability. His 96 overall Combine card used to get Omniscient, which is basically Threat Detector plus Identifier together for 2 AP. So that's a good setup and an extremely inexpensive card that you can have at left guard on your lineup if you can't afford his 99 overall card. The only problem is you're not going to get Secure Protector there, but if you can get it on the other 4 players and then he gets that, you're kind of set up for good there. I love Identifier, and there's a lot of people that can get it for 0 AP, but I love this for numerous reasons. Knowing what player your opponent is using is just kind of the generic reason why you might like it. I like snapping the ball when people are caught off guard. Maybe they're trying to move around players on their defense and we're snapping the ball before they can get all situated. It just gives you an advantage. Also, there's a lot of people, and I don't mean any harm if you were one of them, but there's a lot of people that don't know how to quick adjust in this game, and they're moving from defender to a defender to make an adjustment on that player, and you can kind of tell what they're doing if you pay attention to that when you have Identifier hooked up, so you can see if maybe they keep putting their defensive end in a hard flat. You can go run towards that now and pick up extra yards in the running game. So Identifier, to me, especially at this point in the year where so many people get it for 0 AP, 100% must. After that, again, Secure Protector is king. You can look at things like All Day and Post Up is going to be good for passing. Nasty Streak is going to be great for running on your offensive linemen. None of these things are necessary, but if you can get them in a 0 AP slot, definitely go for it. But the priority at the end of the day on the offensive line is going to be Secure Protector. And by the way, Edge Protector, it's just not as good as it was last year, and it's really only good to counter Edge Threat and Edge Threat Elite. It's not going to slow down those Unstoppable Force pass rushers. So Secure Protector over basically everything. And if I said Secure Tackler at any point in this video, my bad. So there it is. Those are all of the abilities that you should be using right now on offense for Season 6. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Popular Stranger. I'm out. Peace.